beautiful viewers. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back. I have recently received the latest Elizabeth Strout novel, The Things We Never Say, and I just finished reading it last night, and I have to say, I am a lover of Elizabeth Strout's works. I've read all of them except one, Abide With Me, which I just started last night immediately after I finished Things We Never Say. And Things We Never Say, although unlike a lot of Elizabeth Strout's work which have overlapping characters that we become familiar with and we see them in different novels, has unique characters. As far as I know, I don't think there were any overlapping characters, and it really struck me deeply, this book. Elizabeth Strout's writing is very straight to the point, but it's beautiful, it's poetic. She gets underneath the characters and analyzes ordinary life, ordinary decisions, ordinary fears, ordinary thoughts, and sometimes something that is probably or should be obvious or is obvious, but we just don't think about it, and you're reading her work and suddenly think, yes, that's right. And in this book in particular, The Things We Never Say, with the overlying theme of how our lives are secret. Most of us harbour, or if I dare say all of us harbour secrets, things that we can never tell other people. And we go to parties, or we go to bars, we socialise, we go to work, whatever it may be. We don't necessarily talk about the deep core things that are going on in our lives. For example, something really deep that's happening in our family life, maybe an affair, or somebody being arrested for something, or any kind of activity that we shelter and keep to ourselves. And I think as things go on, we tend to become more and more private and hide the things that are really going on. Even those people that are out there using social media and talking about their lives openly and are probably depicting something that is not necessarily the truth and not revealing much. The protagonist of the book is a teacher, a history teacher named Artie Dam. That struck a chord already with me because I had two beloved cats in England, and they were Artemis and Demeter, and I used to call them Artie and Demeets. And so Artie, I still every day think of Artie the cat. And here I go, open this book, and the character is Artie. And I'm sensitive and I'm emotional, so that impacted me. And I'd been thinking a lot about the concept of free will, and this is something I've thought on and off about for many years because I listened to the music group Bad Religion. I follow Greg Graffin. Greg Graffin is a PhD in evolutionary biology and has written and published works talking about that and the concept of free will. And the first thing that Artie introduces in the book is, I've been thinking a lot recently about the concept of free will. And so that struck me too. And of course, like everyone in the world, we led up to a period in 2024 which was leading up to the election, and we had no idea where we were going. I personally became an American British citizen in September 2024, and the elections were coming, and this deals with that. It's set in 2024 leading up to the election comes, and then we go into the years after the election, which mostly then are fiction, but it's also based on some of the early events under the current administration and what were happening back in the early days and which essentially still continue today, but some of the really dramatic things that were being said and done in those early days. And it was really fascinating to see it through the perspective of the characters in this book. And unfortunately, as we get older and as characters get older and we deal with death and loss in our life, there is some death and loss in the book, and it certainly you won't put the book down at the end feeling like you're at your extremely most happy moment in your life. I had quite a reflective evening last night and had to rely on a little bit of medication to get to sleep. But it is a beautiful book. It really strikes so many chords. It should help you to, as all literature does, learn and understand more about humanity. Little key subplots in there of being kind to people and trying to understand that everybody is going through something, and not to just write people off as not there, or to mock people, or to think that you're superior to people. To really try to be kind and generous, and take your time to listen to someone or to help them. Anyway, get out there, get a copy of The Things You Never Say by Elizabeth Strout, and let me know what you think about the book. Thank you for joining me today.